Welcome back to the Delusional Spouse. This chapter is called Check Yourself. Fighting fire with fire will only burn the house down. Why do you look at the insignificant speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice and acknowledge the egregious log that is in your own eye? Matthew 7, verse 3, Amplified Version. When our spouses offend us and we go to God in prayer, our standpoint is usually, God, change my spouse. God, fix my spouse. When really we should be praying, God, change me. We are quick to see the fault of our significant other and miss the big red flags in our own selves. When was the last time you checked out your reflection? Have you been the perfect husband? Have you been the perfect wife? Your spouse could be praying the same prayer to God about you. Sometimes we can become so selfish and self absorbed that we miss the signs that we are not being pleasant to our spouse. We have not been cultivating a home that exudes warmth, peace, and love. Could we be the one that has pushed our spouse out into the cold? You know that scripture that says love covers a multitude of sin? First Peter 4:8. Have you been living a life of submission to your spouse? That goes for you too, men. Or has it been all about you and your needs? Is it only a problem when the offense is towards you? We cannot be selfish in a partnership. Don't spend your day miserable because your husband forgot to take out the trash, or your wife said she was too tired to fold the laundry. We should be bearing each other's burden. Maybe he forgot the trash because he had a hard day at work and his brain skipped over the menial task of taking out the trash. Maybe she's overwhelmed and couldn't find the energy to finish the laundry. Life is way too short to spend it fussing about the little stuffs. Instead, create a safe space for your spouse to unload that burden. You know what covering that multitude of sin looks like? It looks like taking out the trash yourself. It looks like folding the clothes yourself. It looks like running a bath for your spouse and helping them unwind for the day. Take your mind off yourself for a bit and show some love to your spouse. I honestly believe that if two people show up in the marriage ready to serve each other, they will have less arguments because they would have learned not to sweat the small stuff. No one is saying to neglect yourself. No, I'm just saying check to make sure you're not sitting there judging your spouse when you haven't been your best self towards them. Remember the threefold cord. When your spouse is not at their best, you're at the helm and God is the captain. You rely on Him for instruction and direction. He will help you carry the burden you're helping your spouse to carry. So the next time you go to God concerning your spouse, pray, God, change me. Help me to love my spouse through your eyes. Love your spouse how you want God to love you, especially if you're not married to a believer. God could be using you to win the soul of your spouse to Him. We should strive to be a representative of God in all aspects of our lives, especially in our marriage. Your marriage is your first ministry. Steward it well. And before you go run to God to complain about your spouse, check yourself first. If you've checked and you're in good standing with God, He will handle your spouse for you. Thanks for watching The Delusional Spouse. Please like, share, and subscribe. Catch you next week. Bye.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young